Play Projects.
I'm going to show you how to attach the armhole facings to your garment if you're making it as a tank top. So in front of me I have here my 2 front armhole facings and my 2 back armhole facings. And I've prepared all of these pieces by sewing a zigzag stitch along their straight edges. So this is the shoulder seams of the 2 pieces, of all the pieces, and then these will be the underarm seams. You can see the shoulder seams I have, they've all got a notch in them. I've marked my notches with a little bit of a clip and a little chalk mark on them, and you'll see those are the top shoulder edges. And you'll also notice on your pieces to help differentiate them, and this is true for this pattern and for most garment sewing patterns, all of the pieces that go to the front of the armhole will have 1 notch, and here I've clipped it and made a little chalk mark. And all of the pieces that go to the back of the armhole will have a double notch, so 2 clips or 2 marks. So that's how you know that this is your back and this is your front. And now I'm going to piece my back and my front pieces together along their shoulder seams. So I'm going to use these top marks or notches to pair them up. So I'm going to pair up this front with this back piece along their shoulder edge. Give that a pin. And then I'll do the same with these 2, putting their right sides together to sew. And I'm going to sew along this little short edge here with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so here I have my front armhole facing and my back armhole facing attached to the seam. And I've pressed my seam open, and then just like we did on the neck yoke, I did a zigzag stitch all around the outer curve of this, these attached pieces out of the armhole facing. Now I'm going to attach my armhole facing to the body of my garment. So I'm going to bring this over here. And you'll see on the body of your garment, again, like I had mentioned, I've got my 1 notch here for the front, and now in my armhole, I've got 1 notch at the front. So we're going to match those up, and I'm going to pin this along the outer edge. Attaching this facing is going to be really similar to what we did with the neck yoke. So we'll attach it around this curve. I'm going to bring it up, match up your notches, match up the shoulder seam, and move that all the way around to the back, pinning it in place. And then we'll sew along this edge with a 1/4 inch seam at the machine. So now I've sewn my armhole facings to the armhole edge of the body of the shirt. Just like I did on the neck yoke, I sewed it at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but then trimmed it down to about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And again, this is just so we don't have that huge bulk of the seam allowance in this curved fold. I also have pressed everything away from the body of the garment. So I pressed my seam allowances up and I pressed the facings up.